All right. And I think Gwen will start us off. You will need to reshare.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, it like kills everyone camera. So guys, once you acknowledge, please, if you can come back on, it's nice to see your reactions.
Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, okay, perfect. So hi, I'm Gwen Link. I am a coach administrator for our region 1612. I just joined the board recently, and I coach 10U girls and 8U boys.
Your camera.
I'm not going to use my
Got
camera
it.
because it's from a browser, but Vlad and I are here sitting actually as our AYSO section conference is a section expo is just ending. So we're actually in the same room. We're going to give you a quick presentation today for just all the coaches to ground you in a couple of things for the league, as well as some information just to help you as you get started. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, but if you have any questions, just raise your hands and then Vlad can acknowledge it. So just a quick grounding for some of the numbers. There's actually really cool that we were able to have over 300 registered players this season for spring, which is great competing considering we're competing with baseball and end of basketball season and a couple other things. We did have at least 30 volunteer coaches sign up. We're still recruiting a few others. And then for this season, we're going to have 8 match days, and they're going to start in March. We'll show more on this in a minute. But since all of us are here, I just want to ground you guys on what we're doing. We'll cover our mission, our values, some of the basics for the league, being an effective coach, some of the details that I'm sure you guys are curious to know about: gear, fields, team logistics, where am I playing, what day am I playing, that type of stuff, and then some open resources that can help you as coaches, and then we can wrap it up with Q&A. Uh, let's get through just the mission and values. So all of us are part of the AYSO organization, and a big part of the vision statement is ensuring that we're providing world-class soccer to enrich children's lives. So having just finish up the expo, can absolutely hear and feel this of the past couple of days. See this in the work that everyone's doing. A big aspect of this is living through the 6 AYSO philosophies, and this is kind of the grounding of why we are doing what we're doing, but then also how you see your teams come in with the rosters and the way we're playing. So everyone plays, balanced teams, open registration, positive coaching, good sportsmanship, and player development. A big aspect of this is going to be in player development. Everyone plays in balanced teams. So we spend a lot of time on that, especially as we're getting our season started and figuring out our rosters. A big aspect of AYSO is development over winning. It's not about the wins and losses. It's about the outcomes. Have our players improved in their skills, right? Are they improving in their development? And how do we ensure that it's the children development versus the parents winning? So making sure that we are all grounded in this as coaches. Lad, you want to go through some of the league basics and what's new?
Let's go through. All right. So our CVPA, our Child Volunteer Protection Advocate, who is Jim Woodrum, he will be reaching out to all of you, including other perhaps board members, to remind you that there are some things that you will need to complete as part of volunteering in AYSO. Mostly, we want to make sure you have the tools to do your job. You're familiar with what you need to do. You're comfortable with it. And at the same time, we want to make sure all the kids are protected. And this is one of the reasons a lot of parents decide to join AYSO, because they know that every single volunteer will get background check. And other things, but I think that's on the next slide. All right, so really quick, what you guys are interested in learning. So I'll talk more about the AYSO online coaching course in just a little bit, but let me just make sure you guys are aware of a couple of things. One, for coach training, you will need to complete this in AYSOU, which is a training module. If you don't see a button, there's a link in the presentation that we will send out after to help you troubleshoot it. If you still don't see it, please let us know. We'll help you out. Um, our national coach instructor, Pete Xiques, he just received his Lifetime Achievement Award for being, I think, 35 years of volunteering for AYSO. He just received it this weekend. We're lucky enough for him to come down again to do coach training sessions on March 8th. And then he will have multiple sessions. So we're going to make sure that you can at least attend one that's not during your game time. But he will probably be using the same field that we're going to be playing. So to provide you, but those that have attended last year can vouch for the quality of the training that you will receive. It's just an hour, approximately an hour long. It involves kids, and he will basically have you become comfortable in running training sessions, especially if this is your first time coaching. So it's very useful. Please attend. For those that have attended last season, you don't need to do it again, but you're always welcome to join. If you've completed your AYSOU course, coach training course, you also don't need to do it again. So meaning if you're coaching 10U and you've already taken 10U online course, no, you do not have to take it again. These are the times for the training session, the 11:30 and 2 to 3. That's with Pete. Okay, we'll see if he will be a little more flexible because I can't guarantee that those times will not include those games. So we'll make sure that every coach is accommodated, and if they want to take the class, they can. All right.
Yeah, I gotta put a plug in. I took this, so I'm a first time coach, so I coached last season and I took the training with Coach Pete in fall. Probably one of the best things I did. And my kids joined as well. And they like one, he's just so engaging with the kids, but then two, he really shares kind of the whole aspect of how to coach and give you some really great pointers and drills that you can immediately start plugging into play when your practices begin. So if you have a chance, huge plug to join it.
In my opinion, he is one of the top instructors in AYSO. His nickname is literally the coach. This is how he's addressed by every single member in our community, in our section 5, which includes like 4 or 5 states. So he's very well known and very knowledgeable. So anytime someone tells me there's someone with 35 years of experience coming to teach us and share the experience, it's a great opportunity. All right. Aaron, you asked if you have taken some of these things, or all of them rather, for the full season, do you have to take it again this spring? Yeah, totally. Sorry about that. So no, you do not have to take it again. They're usually safe sport has to be taken one time in 4 years, and then there might be a refresher half an hour clinic that has to be taken every year. Then safe haven course is you take it one time. There's no repeat. Your coach license or your training also you don't need to do again. But again, visiting a class with Pete will help. Your risk assessment, as long as it's not expired, you don't have to reapply. Going forward, AYSO and United States Soccer Federation, in fact, every single youth soccer program in America will eventually use United States Soccer Federation platform for keeping track of almost every single one of these requirements. You'll go to a single portal, and everyone will be using the same background check and one of those basically prerequisites for coaching. It'll be tracked in one system, but that's coming in about a year or so. All right, some of the key important dates. And by the way, please feel free to ask questions and interrupt. We published the rosters last night. I'm sorry it's taking us so long. We were looking for a few more coaches, and we are, at least this season, and have been in the past, flexible enough when a coach requests particular days. We have to make sure there's field available for them to practice on. Two, we have to find players that in their registration say that I can actually do those days. Then on top of that, we make sure that the teams are balanced, or most importantly, the teams are balanced. Um, and if we don't have all the coach volunteers assigned to teams, we can't complete that team balancing process. So in our case, that's the reason it took so long, because we can't really finish and share it with you, because we don't know if that's the player you're going to end up with. In fact, I believe one of the coaches requested a different practice day. We now have to slightly rebalance that age division. So you might see one or two kids move around. I don't remember if it was 10U boys or
Yeah.
10U boys. You might see a couple of kids move around. But for most part, we try to assign you guys together, meaning most of the coaches will either practice for those that have two days a week practice. They'll either like Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. We try to give you at least two teams that will practice at the same time for that age group and sex, so, or gender. Um, so that means if 10U is practicing on Monday, you will have another 10U team on that field on the opposite side. Means you can run your drills together if you choose to. If one of the coaches need to be out that week, feel free to combine the practice. There's nothing wrong with that. Please be creative in that regard. And mostly important, or more importantly, you have an opportunity to actually scrimmage at the end of your practice. That gives you an opportunity to have kids actually play one-on-one, team on team. Practice schedules will be published today. When we sent out the rosters last night, you should have seen the days that you're practicing. It shouldn't be a surprise. There's only one team moving from Wednesday to Thursday. Excuse me. And we'll repost that so all the parents are aware. But if you're used to seeing in the past where we're showing an Excel spreadsheet with field assignments. By the way, we will have field assignments for practices, specific ones. So you don't just come in and pick whatever spot. You will have a designated spot. We'll make sure there's a map and a schedule. It will be published later this afternoon, probably in about 3-4 hours. We have one logistical issue for this season. For the first week of practices, City of Atlanta did not make their fields available to us. At least not anywhere where we want it. So on Monday and Wednesday of this first week, starting tomorrow, we got DH Stanton Park booked. I know our coaches don't like it as much. Usually not as well maintained as other parks in Atlanta in terms of cutting the grass to the level we need. But it's just for 2 days. That's it. And then we'll not have any more practices at DH Stanton. The rest of the practices will be held at Boys and Girls Club on Warren Boys and Girls Club in Grant Park location. You will have 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, from 5 to 6 and 6 to 7. And that will happen until March 9th. Excuse me for a second.
The other fields are going to be Boulevard Crossing as well.
Yeah. So we'll have Boulevard Crossing 5 to 6 until March 9th, and then 6 to 7 after March 9th because of the daylight savings time change. And sorry, back to Warren Boys and Girls Club, it's 5 to 6 until March 9th and 6 to 7. We have 2 hours of possible practice slots at that field location. And then after daylight savings time, March 9th, it's moving up by half an hour or down. Not sure which way you go, but it's basically 5:30 to 6:30 and then 6:30 to 7:30. You don't need to memorize this. We'll communicate this all to you. I just want you to understand and then have some expectations of how we're doing things slightly different this season due to field availability. Uniforms for the parents that have ordered it. By the way, in your roster, you should have 2 questions. One that says, are they reusing a uniform or using uniform discount? Yes or no. And then their shirt size, we'll make sure it's repeated and we put it inside the uniform bag. So you guys have that for reference. When we provide you the uniforms to distribute to your teams during the second week of practices, okay? So we'll give you a bag with all the uniforms. The rosters will be there. with every player's name that ordered the uniform. Now, if your player realizes, oops, I meant to order uniform, but I said, no, give me a discount instead, they need to contact the league. We actually have a form for them to fill out, an online form. Actually, they don't need to talk to us. Just fill out the online form, request a uniform. Sorry about that. And then you will be able to then distribute the forms, the uniforms for parents that don't have them. If they fill it out, we'll add the $20 charge to their account. They can pay it, and then we'll get those additional uniforms ordered and delivered to you. But we do ask coaches to distribute it during that. Game schedule will be published before the end of next week. We usually have a volunteer that helps us with it, and she will get started on Monday to get the. And if she gets it done faster, we'll communicate that faster before 2/28. So, but that is the start of our first game, and our coach clinic is also on 3/8. Any questions? I know we're going fast.
I can give a couple of things too.
Yeah,
so for practices, in case you're wondering, right, practices are going to start for uppers for U10. U8 will start practice the following week. We're not going to start it this week. If you're curious about U6, U5, 3 for free, if you're coaching any of those younger divisions, those are Saturday practice days. So they're not going to practice during the week. So really the only ones who are going to be practicing possibly this week are the U10s and uppers. I coach U10 girls. Our coaches with the girls have already texted each other. We've got some work travel and other things, so we've made a decision to start our practices the following week. And that's just because of the way we have everything laid out. So just know that if you're freaking out about, hey, practices are starting this week, you've got some flexibility. We want to make sure that you guys are in control of what you want to set as well. So if Monday doesn't work out for you, Tuesday, Wednesday doesn't work out for you, it's totally fine. The first game is on March 8th. So you've got another week before you can, we really start to pick this up.
If you decide that, no, I don't want to miss an extra week of practice, just please reach out to us. We'll find you field space on one of the days that's available. Excuse me. And you can offer that to the parents if they want an extra practice.
I'm going to go through being an effective coach pretty quickly. But if they are questions, I know you're not going to necessarily get a lot of it out of the presentation. It's going to be like the in-person and doing some of the training once you see it on the field itself. But there are a few things that I think we can help you as coaches. So just a few things. If you're a first-time coach, you're a couple of good just best practices. Sending out a parent's welcome, setting up for your first training, that first practice, and then just doing a little bit of preparation before the game and then before and after the season. So here are a couple of things that we can share with you on it. If you have a chance to send out a welcome, that would be great. If not, I did mine during the first practice and just, hey, here is kind of what to expect from me as a first-time coach, as a returning coach. Here are some of the things that we can do together. Have some engagement from the parents, have some engagement from the kids. Introduce this kid zone. We want to make sure that this is safe for a positive and a safe aspect for the kids and for the parents as well. And then a huge thing, which is always helpful, is just making sure that you have somebody else on the team helping, right? So if they can help with signups for snacks, if helping with anything else, that would be great. So recruit any of the assistant or team managers, that would be great.
Wanted to add one quick thing. When we sent the rosters out, we did not include cell phone numbers for the coaches. This was intentional. We don't have your permission to share that, but they do have your email address. So they might be emailing you with questions. You will receive all of the players' contact information, emergency contact information, their cell phone numbers, etc. So a little more information will follow, and the coach welcome letter template will also be included in the communication that we'll send to you. Please feel free to use it, modify it slightly, and just send it out. There's not many changes that need to be made.
Here's some stuff for the first training session. Really, it's engaging the kids to help create the rules. You're setting the tone for the field, for the practices, for the season, but you also want to get them to share, hey, what do they want to get out of it as well? Right. So this is just a really good way of getting their early engagement, setting yourself up for success. A big aspect of AYSO is no lines, no laps, no lectures. It's about fun development. It's about making sure that it's family friendly, right? So there are lots of really good drills. If you haven't coached before, there's some grid drills that AYSO provides in the AYSO coaching manual, some of the training university stuff, as well as the Mojo app as too. There's some pre-game preparation that you would want. Really, a lot of my pre-game came through the Mojo app, is really just seeing who would attend, who would not attend, what color you're wearing. Sorry, if you're wearing the predominant color or the reversible of the jersey color. And then just getting yourself set up with your starting roster and substitutions. And then during the match and during the season, you'd want to just make sure that you are, just before any game, you're arriving a little bit early, making sure folks are warming up, giving an overview if needed, and then post game, once they hit the snacks, they're gone. So as much as you can, try to get any like takeaways either right before they go for the snacks and the drinks, or you save it for the next practice that you have. Last thing for this after your games is just make sure all the kids have been picked up, right? We want to make sure that no one's left behind, so that they're having the rest of their weekend well.
Well, that includes the referees. So if you're the last game of the day and you see a youth referee still lingering, please make sure there's a parent to pick them up. We as an organization and coaches are not allowed to leave anyone behind. Everyone has to be accounted for, please.
I'm going to go through these really quickly. For the older kids, less so for the younger kids, but for the older kids, there's just some rules, as well as, want to make sure that everyone has equal playing time. So there's some balancing that you can do on the field with a roster, etc. But here's just some just league rules, if you will. Some other things that you might be curious about if you're a coach, so just gear, fields, and team logistics. Vlad already talked about where we're playing and practicing. Boulevard Crossing, Boys and Girls Club is going to be the predominant places where we practice. DH Stanton is going to be just for this first week. We are going to have games at Boulevard Crossing. And then for gear, if you haven't received any gear from the past seasons, you have the ability to request gear. There's a Google form that we'll send out to everyone. We'll make sure that you guys get that gear for the right, your right equipment. If you have equipment from previous season, we want you to reuse that. If you're a first-time coach, or if you're a coach this year, we do want to make sure that you also get a jersey. All of us are volunteering for this, so I want to make sure that you can represent the volunteering that you have. Soccer goals are not provided, but we have a couple that are given to at least the upper and the 10U. Weather is always unpredictable in Atlanta, so want to make sure that you guys know what's happening. If we have any, inclement weather, for the most part, the city doesn't allow anyone to play on their wet fields, which is fine. You guys as coaches make the call for practices, but Vlad and I can typically share out a communication, typically with Mojo and an email. If there is inclement weather, the fields are too wet to play or to practice, we'll let everyone know. Regarding makeup games, if we need to make them up, we will, and we'll just make that call for that. Last thing, I know it's a little all over the place with dogs, especially in Grand Park, but the city doesn't allow dogs on the field except for service animals. So just keep that in mind. We also want to make sure the kids are safe, and
Well, it jeopardizes our permit as well. So a city can pull our permit, and then we will not have place to play if they decide to, if we're violating this rule.
So I'll go through the referees pretty quickly, and then a couple other slides. Just a heads up, we might get kicked out of this room, so we'll as we're transitioning to the Q&A portion of this, we'll definitely feel this, but you might hear some movement in the background. the refs are our kids, right? So just as our kids are learning, some of our kids are actually learning to be referees as well. So we want to make sure we're creating a safe and a positive environment for them. Let them give them some positive learning so that they understand what's going on. Again, from a kids zone aspect, it's all about positivity. We don't want to yell at the refs. We don't want to encourage any of the parents yelling at the refs. There's zero tolerance if that's happening. We will escort that parent out, and we want to make sure that this is going to be something that everyone can enjoy for the season. And then finally, just want to make sure that we are leaving you with a couple of coaching resources. So there are 3 that you already have at your fingertips. That's in blue. It's the website, it's the coaching university, and the handbook. And then the 2 that we will share with you right now is Mojo Sports App and the coaching manual. There's a little video. We'll share this out so that you guys can see this video afterwards. But the Mojo Sports App is really the best way of getting your team roster, communicating with your team, understanding what practices, where your games are, what time your games are, etc. It's probably the most used tool as a coach you would be using this season. Because of all the updates that will happen.
Right. And you can also provide like a feedback about someone having a really good practice. You could send a chat to the parent saying, hey, Johnny had really good practice today. And it's often used to encourage players as well for their emotional health needs too.
The coaching manual is available for everyone. It's a paid resource that's covered by the region. Really cool. If you want to go and check it out, the AYSO and the coaching manual has a partnership. So would recommend if you're looking for drills, if you're looking for additional practice information, there's just really good information there.
10 seconds. When you do use that link that we'll provide, it will tell us that you're looking to activate a license, and we will mark you in the system that you're interested.
Cool. So let's, I think, jump over to Q&As. You might hear a little bit of background noise, but Vlad, I don't know what you might need to unmute people or.
Yeah, they can unmute themselves.
Okay. I know we ran through that pretty quickly, but honestly, I'm going to text all the coaches so that you have my information. And if you have any questions or if you have any more that you just want to hear about, I'm happy to set you up with the right information.
Yeah, this is not the last opportunity. You can continue to engage us throughout the season with any questions or any needs that you have. I cannot guarantee field requests for practices. It's logistical nightmare for the board. We do our best to accommodate you, but we are making absolutely zero promises on where you're going to be. We're just telling you that those are the practice times, and we are accommodated you for days of the week that you can do it. I cannot accommodate on field locations. I'm sorry. 343, we will bring equipment to the field. You don't need to worry about it. You will have the 3 most experienced coaches probably in our league, Mag, Wilson, and Chris. I forgot the last name, Harrison, I think, that lead that program. They will get you engaged, and I really appreciate you signing up to help out. But they will bring the equipment. Other questions? Carl?
Yeah, in previous seasons, I found it really helpful, and parents have found it really helpful when I send the email at the beginning of the season with like all these details that we're talking about. And I thought in the manual there was like a template email, but I can't find it. I was just looking through the
letter. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Carl, there's a welcome letter template that we will share with you after this call. You will get all the links, including the PowerPoint presentation, so you can review. And there you will have that letter. Just change the name, put a little bit about yourself. Most of the details will stay the same. You don't need to wreck your brain. What do I need to communicate to the parents? So definitely, we will share that with all the coaches. Yep. Let me see. Sorry, I had to change. Is it Brandon?
Yeah, so my question is about 5U this season. I noticed I was assigned to a team of 5 kids. So are we structuring those practices / games differently than previous seasons where everyone was kind of grouped together?
This was some question. Yeah, great question. This is some of the feedback we got from other coaches. They wanted to structure it more rather than have 30 kids in one group, like jamboree or schoolyard type of session, or playground rather type of session. So yes, we're structuring slightly different. You could still combine with your practice with other coaches. There's nothing preventing you from running something similar to what we've done. In fact, we encourage you to group together. It will help with overlap if someone is not there. But they will give a more of a bit of team sense of identity to the players, and we had feedback that that's something we'd like to try this season.
Okay, and those practices are all going to be at the same time for every team?
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
try to do 5U at the same time, 6U at the same time. 3-for-3 will probably start around 10 o'clock.
Brandon, one of the things we were thinking about was making sure that, if there are 2 5U teams playing against each other, that they have a time to practice, right, that week. So that's kind of also how we're thinking about this as well. It's just we heard a lot of feedback about the jamboree style with 25 kids, not enough people being able to manage within that particular age group. So hopefully this is going to be a better experience for everyone involved.
Yep, Oscar. And by the way, you might get more 5U kids. We might be adding a couple more. Oscar.
Yes, question. So last season, with all the parents, the primary communication was through the Mojo app.
Yep.
I don't remember how that.
Everyone will get a
join. So
yep.
They will automatically be added to my team.
They will automatically be added to a new team. We will export the schedule, send it to Mojo Sports. They will import everything, including teams, who is the coach, what are the practice times, and what are the game times. It will all be, and you can sync it to your Google Calendar if you want. So Mojo Sport is highly, highly recommended. In fact, we almost require it. Parents will have about 80% adoption rate in joining Mojo Sports historically, including our region. This is what we saw. We saw 83% of parents decide to sign up. So use it as communication tool. It's going to be the best thing for you, the easiest to communicate with the team. Snare? Chris, sorry. Sorry, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. So I had a question. I think I brought it up to you when I saw you at the Jamboree. The 8th, I'm gonna be out of town. For a vacation that I already planned. How is that gonna work?
Which age group?
5U?
Yeah, just reach out to parents. The idea is that they're all there anyway. There's nothing that will prevent them, or work with other coaches. We're going to have 6 other coaches there. Just ask them to help out, and we're going to reach out to all the team that doesn't have an assistant, and we're going to ask parents to step up. We will want to have each coach to have another one as a backup. So we just need to make that campaign and get more volunteers. We will be reaching out to all of the teams that don't have an assistant.
I'll add one last thing with that, Chris.
Oh, too far.
No, that's okay. I'm blurred anyways. But I mean, all of us are volunteering in this. So, like, first and foremost, we should have started this off by saying a huge thank you, because without this, we wouldn't be able to have this for the kids. And all of us, I think, all of us stepped up, because you can see the pleading eyes from the kids if they don't have this opportunity, right? So huge thank you. We definitely want to make it flexible, right? So vacation time, work travel, like those types of things, like we'll make it work. So Chris, I'll make sure that we accommodate for the first game that you guys aren't there when I text you. But just know that, we want to make sure that this is going to be a good experience for you as coaches too. So if there's flexibility that we need to build in, happy to do that.
I wonder if it's a smart idea to put all the.
Yeah. One other thing, Carl, sorry, one more second. I did want to conclude. We'll let you ask a question, of course, but I did want to conclude. The coaches are one of 2 people in kids' life that's not part of their family that are the most important. You guys are making a huge difference in kids' life. This is the impact. You are the safe space for them. You are their mentors. So this is an incredible opportunity, not just for kids, but for us to grow personally as well. So this is why I still coach as well. And I started when my daughter was 5. She's now 12. And she asks every year, Dad, are you going to still coach? So it's an incredible opportunity for you to bond with your kids and to be a mentor to others. Wedge, you had the question?
Yeah, I was gonna add maybe one thing that we can do. I believe in Mojo you can create
can.
a group. It's all right.
Yes,
But
we can create groups.
we can create a group for the coaches for particular age groups.
Yeah.
That way, they could just consolidate.
That's a great idea.
Practice with another group. Or
Yeah,
something.
we can create age group, genders, same gender for all the coaches, and create a chat group for you to use. Yes, absolutely. That's a great idea.
I see a few more questions.
Carl, I think you were Oscar. I'm not sure if you have another one, but Carl is next.
So do I go or does Oscar go?
Yeah, please. I think you forgot to lower.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was just honestly in response to what Chris was saying. I just wanted to say I've coached at 5U now up to the upper division with my daughter, and I'm thrilled that we're using the Mojo app now. But if you're worried about like missing coach training that day, there'll be another opportunity in a future season because you're gonna have a blast. But the Mojo YouTube channel is an excellent resource. So I can't tell you the number of times on a practice day I've flipped to the Mojo YouTube channel and just looked at other coaches who really know what they're doing, running through 8 or 10 different drill ideas, and I'll scribble down some notes and bring that with me to practice, and it gives me a lot of the ideas I've had over the years of stuff to do in practice has come directly from their YouTube channel. So I just wanted to add that in addition to the
Perfect.
coaching manual, which is great, the AYSO coaching manual, which is great. Those YouTube videos are fantastic.
Yeah. Mojo Sports, that app, as Carl is mentioning, that it's a 30-second clip of the drill that you will already be in your folder for that week. And all you need to do is look at it, and in 30 seconds, you'll know what to do with the kids. It is the most time-saving tool I used as a coach. In my opinion, it's way better and faster and more concise than the coaching manual subscription that we use. So please try it out. It's great. Not only that, the kids will see what they're going to be practicing that week and get excited about that too. All right. Any other questions? I'm sorry, we're not trying to rush too much, but we are getting kicked out of the conference room.
Oscar,
Yeah,
you still
Oscar.
have questions?
I have one more question. Just to be clear, did you say that the fields won't be available tomorrow?
They are. They will be available. Yeah, whatever we sent you in the roster includes the time. Includes the day of the week. What you don't have yet is the time in the field. This will be communicated later this afternoon for tomorrow as well. So for first week,
Awesome.
and then weeks 2 through 10, we will publish 2 schedules, practice schedules. Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, please just give us a little moment. We'll publish them and communicate them to you. They will go on our website as well for future reference. This is not going to be a one-time. Don't miss that email. It will be posted. We'll communicate that. I promise you. Equipment pickup will start. Did we say tomorrow? Tomorrow before practice.
Yeah, for the teams that are going to be
Yeah.
practicing this week, we're going to start. For the others that we want to prioritize those teams, right? But for the other teams, we'll likely have that towards the end of the week. We just have to consolidate the bags, and with everything with travel days and stuff, we just want to make sure that we're prioritizing the teams that are going to practice.
Yeah, we got some new soccer balls thanks to Wedge's connections, and we purchased nice select soccer balls, size 3 and 4. So if you need them, we will send you an equipment request form. Please fill it out. We will do it soon, about within an hour. And just mark whatever you need. There are first aid kits, pennies, cones, soccer balls. What else am I missing?
Gloves,
Whistles,
gloves,
goalie gloves.
Gloves for the older.
For
kids.
older divisions. So we'll have those. Again, we appreciate you joining.
Any more questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions as we start wrapping up?
Where is that equipment request form?
I believe it's on our site. If not, we will email you. It will be emailed along with the presentation. We did that last year. Or last season. We emailed the presentation, and every link that we just talked about will be provided to you in there. Coach request form, uniform request form, links to inside this presentation. You will have all of that. The only thing that will come later is the Mojo sign up, the Mojo link. It will be sent by Mojo Sports, but they will usually take some 3-4 days after we submit the practice schedule to them, which will be today. So you will receive it midweek. Andrew is asking, I wanted to ask about coaching assignments. Yes, this would not be a proper venue. Please reach out to us. We did receive your emails. We're looking at them, and we'll be reaching out to you. And Andrew, I'm aware about Ted Back as well. Some of those decisions were intentional, but we will reach out and have a discussion.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah, please, Wedge.
Guys, if you don't mind, Google reviews, we just,
Oh, yes.
yes, every one of you, if you can go on after this meeting, just drop in a line. If you don't drop in line, just give us 5 stars, but we really want to grow the program, and Google reviews is a big part of that. So thank you, guys.
All right. Any more questions? Our section director for AYSO will tell me shortly, so if we don't get out of here. But please just reach out if we need to get on the call one-on-one. Gwen is available, I'm available, other board members are available. We want to make sure you're supported, have every question answered. So if there's something that's going on, reach out. Just keep in mind, it might take us just a little bit to respond if you're emailing us, okay? Because we have a lot of requests coming in, not just from you, but from parents. But I promise you we will answer everyone. We're here to support you. Thank you so much, guys. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you.